What would happen if governors got the 45% they are seeking? Would that improve services to the ordinary Kenyan? Experts in budget procedures say the move could either empower the counties or starve the national government. KTN's Asha Mwilu reports.
The relentless push by governors to increase county funding to at least 45% has gripped the entire country's attention.
We are on course on pesa mashinani, that is for sure.
The debate has focused a lot on how much counties should receive and little on what would change for the ordinary Kenyan if governors were to get more funding.
Are counties getting enough revenues for the functions that they're supposed to carry out? And when you ask that question, you also need to ask the question, does national government have enough to carry out its functions?
To say that now you want to increase the allocation means that you have to increase the functions which have been devolved, because it's a trade-off. If a function was previously being done by the national government, what you then therefore need to do is devolve that function so that resources can therefore follow that function.
Counties are in charge of a number of services including health, water, early childhood education and agriculture. National government has its own functions including education, security, immigration and infrastructure, to name a few. Although some governors are performing some national functions such as security, it's unclear whether the county bosses want additional functions.
First of all, we need to know exactly 45% of what. And then I think we need to be very careful that we look at the national functions and the county functions and try to understand how much do they actually cost and are we being reasonable. I think that 45% of something may be feasible, but 45% of current revenues would undermine national functions.
The amendment that they are basically calling for when they tell us that they want to increase the allocation, at its basic point, at its basic analysis, the thing that they're arguing is we need to devolve more functions to county governments.
I think the governors are mostly talking about what's called the equitable share, the total amount of money which is given to counties unconditionally to do whatever they want. I think that's not the right way to think about this. A lot of the money that is trapped in different places needs to be thought about a little bit more carefully. For example, we have money for regional functions, things like regional hospitals.
The Commission for the Implementation of the Constitution thinks governors can get more funds without a constitutional referendum. Governors have argued that they should be receiving at least 15% of the latest audited and approved revenue accounts.
So they tell me that the latest approved accounts of Parliament are 2010, which of course then keeps, according to them, keeps the figure lower than if we were talking about the latest approved accounts being, say, last year. I agree. But then what is the solution? The solution must surely be for all of us to tell Parliament, you have a constitutional obligation to approve these accounts to the latest so that that can be used to divide the national revenue.
The debate on how much counties should receive could easily take different perspectives. What experts agree on, however, is that governors need to clarify whether they're seeking 45% of the latest audited accounts, and perhaps most important, that Kenyans need to know how county and national functions would be affected by this move. Asha Mwilu, KTN, Nairobi.